Carl Fischer.
Hey everybody, we're back. Welcome to The Hang, episode 55. What's going on, everybody? We are here. It's the end of August 2021. Life is starting to get somewhat normal, if there's any sense of normalcy left. And we wanted to come over here and have a catch-up hang. I had a bottle of ketchup, and I was going to show you my ketchup. Instead, I'm going to have to catch you up on current events, I guess. So anyway, we appreciate everybody coming out and saying hello. We have the fish heads hanging out with us tonight, so please chime in on the chat and say hello and keep some dialogue going. And I am so happy to say that my man from LaGrange, Illinois, who's been battling everything that he could battle in the last 2 months, is feeling good in the neighborhood. And let's say hello to our friend Stephen Wright. What's up, Stephen?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Yeah, man, you got through the battle. You got a red kimono and you got purple background. So that means you're battle ready.
Exactly. We're ready to go. And we haven't had rain in 2 weeks, and we got a lightning storm just as the show started. So
perfect. Well, would it
back
be
to
any
normal.
different? It wouldn't be any different, right?
Nope.
I thought you were going to say, at the end of August, you're going to have snow. Like, what the hell?
Nah, we need another month for that.
Oh, man. How you doing, man? What's going on?
Hey, hanging in there. We got getting the house all put back together. Got a new carpet, so I had to change the office all around and make it look pretty.
All right.
So we're doing good, getting it all put back together. Like you said, anything to feel some semblance of normalcy.
Tell you what, buddy.
Whatever the hell that means now.
I don't know what that means.
Nope.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're doing good, and you dealt with some battles. I'm going to let you take care of that if you want to talk about it. If not, that's fine. I just know that you have your kimono dragon red jacket on, so you're ready to sumo some people.
I'm good. I'm good, man. Let's do it. Don't make me sumo anybody in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. Hassan Chop.
Yeah.
No Hassan
great.
Chop tonight. Yeah.
No,
man.
not tonight.
No, what is? I meant to look at the calendar,
Yeah.
but it's like Groundhog Day. It either makes me really happy or really sad.
Yep.
What are we looking at? Are we like 10 weeks, 11 weeks since we hung out on this hang?
Yeah,
What has it been?
I think it was the end of June. It's
No?
been a little while.
Right.
Yep.
Well, hopefully everybody had a good summer vacation.
Well, we had Mark and Mike, in the last episode we had to
Right.
we had to let the awesomeness wear off before we started again.
There was a lot of awesomeness in that last hang with Mike Clavana and Mark, Snyder. It
Yep.
was fun. It was a
Yep.
fun hang.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time, and thankfully we got that. We finally got to. We did 2 shows. Yeah, we did 2 shows and weeks of rehearsals with everybody, so we got to see everybody. But before we even get talking about everybody, I just want to mention something serious before I get too slap happy tonight. Our thoughts and prayers go out with Charlie Watts. We lost the great Charlie Watts, great drummer with the Rolling Stones this afternoon. I don't know if it was this morning or this afternoon or last night, but he has transitioned at 80 years old, and he was a consummate professional groove master, drummer with the Stones for years, since the mid-'60s, I believe, and very nice man. I got to meet him very quickly when we did this 12-12-12 concerts with Billy, Hurricane Sandy. The Stones were on that bill, and what a super, super nice guy. So our hearts and our prayers go out to his family and friends and, of course, his bandmates. So this one goes out to Mr. Charlie Watts. That being said, hopefully everybody's taking care of each other, and if not, Steven's going to lay the sumo on you. He's going to go Hassan Chop on you. He's going to come out of the LaGrange. He's feeling good. Look at him. He's feeling good.
I'm tired now, actually.
Yeah.
That was it. That was all I got.
Out of breath.
Yep.
Yeah, ran out of breath. Oh, man. Yeah. So anyway, so it's been a while since we hung, and Steve and I were talking. We kind of want to circle the wagons and catch up, and we want to start doing these a little bit more frequently again, since like I said, we had a wonderful week of rehearsals with the Billy Joel organization, getting that ramped up, and we had 2 wonderful concerts, one in Fenway in Boston. That was a really nice concert, and I guess 8 days ago, we did Buffalo, New York, which was fun, and we have Cincinnati coming up. So we just want to say hello and see how everybody's making out through the summertime, right?
Yeah, and actually, and you had we talked a little bit before the rehearsal and the shows about how you had your hernia surgery. So I think there's some people interested in hearing how you're feeling and how
Hassan Chop!
Yeah, exactly.
I got chopped.
Hassan Mesh.
Hassan Mesh Chop.
Yeah, no, so I know we got a couple of emails of people kind of asking, especially trumpet players that are interested. We had a couple people that have had similar procedures. So,
Cool.
Yeah, some people are definitely interested in how you're feeling and what you may be doing the same, what you may be doing differently, how you're feeling. If you're still just blowing like an idiot, or
I'll tell you what, man, it's been a long process.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate people reaching out. I've had a few emails and texts from friends and family and acquaintances, so I appreciate the kind, well wishes. So yeah, as a trumpet player, I'll be honest with you, the ramp up after the surgery, I was playing 2 weeks after the surgery. I started very slowly. I had a wonderful surgeon. We did open. We didn't do any robotic. What's the word they do use now? There's like three different. One's the robotic arm that goes through the side. I can't remember the name of it. I should have remembered it. And then the other one is where they go in, in the side without the robotic. The doctor's in there with the thing, and then open. I chose the open. I went open for a multitude of reasons because, long story short, I wanted to kind of, the doctor and I decided, he knew I was a trumpet player. I was very adamant. I think if any musician, whether they play flute, high energy trumpet or trombone or singing or what have you, your best advocate is yourself. And get a doctor that understands what you do. So long story short is I said, listen, I don't play middle C in an orchestra sitting down. What I do is very physical. And so long story short, he understood what I did. We opted for the open surgery, which was going to kind of pinpoint my hole in my stomach, which was rather large, very large actually. And they had to cut quite a bit of intestines I had coming through there. It wasn't pretty. So that was cut out. Everything went well, thank God. And 2 weeks post-surgery, he said, start playing. He goes, your body's the best gauge of where you're at. Obviously, start very slow. And I started very, very slow. I basically had, I think it was 7 weeks... 6 weeks to ramp up to the first rehearsal. And I'll be honest with you, you have to think like an athlete, and everything the doctor said and everything that I've worked on throughout my years of playing trumpet is true as far as the physical aspect. At the end of the 6 weeks, I started playing pretty hard to see where gauge was at. I'll be honest with you, the first couple weeks, I was crying. It was miserable. You don't realize how much you use the diaphragm playing trumpet. If I just played middle C soft, it would be okay. But if I played mezzo forte and a G above C, which is still not high, there was a lot of pain. Incidentally enough, though, here's my smorgasbord. I don't know if you can see it, of horns. My tenor, my soprano's in the case right now, my trombone, my flugel, my trumpets. So this is my little workstation here, so to speak. And when I was ramping up, playing all these instruments, what was amazing to me, being a trumpet head and a wind instrument player, what's amazing is the only thing that affected me pain-wise was playing trumpet because of the back pressure, and trombone. Tenor, soprano, I was fine with. So it was the back pressure, the trumpet, and I think the bore of playing trombone, really, I could feel it. So I felt confident, not strong, but I felt every time I played, not every time I played, it was like 2 steps forward, 1 step back type of deal in my practicing. Long story short, when I got to rehearsals, the first day, you can never duplicate a gig, and it was a rehearsal. You can never duplicate. I remember almost passing out on stage at rehearsal. It was really rough. The second day I felt pretty good. Every day I felt better. It was amazing. And everybody in the Billy camp was so wonderful. BR, our front of house guy, he was like, don't play hard. We got you. But my whole, Mark Rivera was great. Everybody was wonderful as far as my healing. And really, I was chicken shit. Excuse my language. I mean, who cares? I had a hernia. The girl next to me that plays percussion and saxophone and sings, she just got through cancer. So I'm chicken liver, man. I mean, if I'm complaining, I have no right to complain. This girl's been through hell and back, and she crushed it, and still crushes it. Crystal's just a force of nature, man. So she was a big inspiration, and still is a big inspiration in my eyes, the way she addresses things and how she takes care of herself and her bandmates and her family. So we love Crystal Telfer, and she's doing very well. yeah, so each time I tried to play, stronger and harder and be very methodical and almost like workout material, like as far as working on energy demands. And not, I still don't feel like I'm 100%, but I feel pretty strong now. I feel pretty strong. I'm not 100%, but, I guess I'm about 18 weeks post surgery. I get a kick. I got some great emails. Everybody's different. Some guys are spring back really quick. I got some trumpet players emailing me. I was playing 2 weeks afterwards. Great. That's wonderful. Like I said to my doctor, I said, the way I play and the way I, address playing on trumpet, it's not very there's not a lot of nuance there. Let's just leave it that way.
You're lucky your intestine's not coming out the bell.
Almost did.
Yeah, exactly.
If it doesn't go out the bell, it's going to go out somewhere else, and you don't want to know about that.
Be like those cartoons where the lips come through the end of the horn.
Yeah, man.
That's terrible.
Well, we had some wonderful, thank you for the well wishes and comments. We're getting stronger every day. And like I said, Crystal's a big inspiration for me on that band, as well as Mark Rivera and Brian Ruggles out in front, and Steve Cohen, and obviously Tommy Burns. Everybody in the band has just been so, positive. And man, it's great to be back. It's so great to be back.
Yeah. A lot of love for Crystal in the chat right now.
Rightfully so. Absolutely.
Melissa, I got a couple people actually. One, Melissa says laparoscopic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It wasn't laparoscopic. They wanted to do. I fired 3 doctors, Melissa. Imagine me. I lost my mind. One guy, if I could have did a laparoscopic appendectomy on this guy and a scrotumectomy on this guy, I threatened his life. He wanted to do the robotic laparoscopic thing.
The other guy wanted Da Vinci.
I don't know the Da Vinci. It sounds like an artist to me. Yeah, the new robotic one. And then the other guy wanted to do the standard handheld laparoscopic on the size 4. And here's the deal: if you're really interested, if you really want to get, what made me, I talked about this before, I think, but I'll reiterate it again for anybody. Even if you don't play music, it's very interesting. If you go in laparoscopic, from what I was told, I had 4 different surgeons and a couple other doctors, GPs that I consulted with who are friends of mine. You go in, 2 points or 3 points here on your side with the laparoscopic. They're kind of flying by autopilot. They're looking for the hole where you blew through your stomach wall. And basically what happened was they're going to do a mesh from here, basically underneath my breasts, all the way down to my belly button. They're covering the whole area. And what was amazing, after the 3rd doctor, consultation, he said, we're going to cover this. He goes, but you're a trumpet player. Here is where your diaphragm is, here on the bottom. These is where all your muscles congregate. And the way you play and everything, you're basically an air compressor. You have a big belly. You're getting a money shot here. But this is all going to be covered in mesh here. He goes, so your recovery time and you're going to be feeling that mesh constantly when you breathe, when you have an energy demand. He goes, now, my hole was here. It was right here. And they did like a 5 or 6 inch circle right around here, and they just opened this up. So I didn't have any of the side muscle thing. And they basically isolated that without and the reason why they isolated it is because they actually can see it at that point. They're not going in, through a microscope and laparoscopic. So he goes, if that doesn't work, we can always go in and do the one-size-fits-all big mesh. He goes, but you'll be really miserable. So I really attested to me ramping up quicker than normal. Yeah. Again, playing hard. If I played in the orchestra, or if I played very, without an energy demand, playing just medium sound and without playing crazy high notes or what have you. Not that I'm a crazy high note player, but when I get on it, I think I would have been okay, but that's not me. So hopefully that answered that question. But laparoscopic we did not do, and it was the best thing in retrospect. Yeah, I can always go back and cover that up if need be, if I blow it out again, which knock on wood, hopefully not. How did we get on this like doctor thing? I should be called Dr. Oz catch up.
Well, you know, some of those most popular YouTube videos around is that pimple guy. So I figure medical, you know, we'll medical our way to catfish people for views, right?
Well, you know, then after that, I get a thing. I got this freaking big cyst on my back. I look like Hunchback of Notre Dame. And, yeah, I mean, I'm looking. I can't even touch it. And so, like, I go to the guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we got to cut that out." Excuse me. Mm-hmm. That was worse than my hernia surgery. He cuts that thing out. I'm like, "Are you kidding me, doc? Are you really kidding me with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was worse than the hernia surgery. Whatever." Yeah. So I said to the lady, I'm like, "You watch the pimple popper?" He goes, "That is my life." I'm like, "Hello."
That's all right. Well, we can jump off the medical stuff. I think that answered the question for everybody. But yeah, we got a lot of people hanging out here in the chat with us already. Got some of our fish heads here. We'll say hi to Ryan. Got the Hang president Noah is here, of course.
Hey Noah, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, got Melissa and Teddy from Songs in the Attic.
Hey, I missed Melissa in Buffalo. We you know, let's just throw this out there since we're doing shows. Yeah. We're very cautious of not that people are sick, but we got to keep everybody healthy. So we don't go out before or after. At least I don't go out, and a lot of people in the organization don't go out, just for the simple reason is, you know, we're there for a job and we're trying to keep everybody safe and healthy. That being said, I really miss seeing you, Melissa. And I know Teddy was working. Someone's got to make a living, I guess. I don't know. I think, Melissa, I think you're back in school now. You're probably back into it, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm sure that the kids are happy that you're back. But we miss seeing you guys, and we miss hugging and shaking hands and everything. Hopefully that will come back again. But hopefully you and Teddy are doing good and rocking and doing well.
Yeah. Lori was also there in Buffalo, says great show as always.
Colado?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay, Lori. I'm sorry I missed you guys. I really am.
Yep.
There'll be time and place for that, hopefully in the future. But thank you. It was a good night.
Yeah, we got Greg and Brenda joining us in Shelbina.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Ambulance Man?
Oh, and I gotta do a little shout out for them. Greg and Brenda in Missouri is my dad and stepmother who just celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary.
We should have him on the show and ask him how he did it.
Yeah, right.
And how she did it. We should ask both of them. I bet you the answers are totally different.
Yeah, I was going to say we should probably ask her first.
Yeah. How'd you do it? Type it. Type it.
Yeah.
How did you? I always ask people who've been married, what is the secret? Because there's some secret there. I mean,
Yep, definitely. So we'll give.
Well, congratulations, 40 years.
Yeah, do a 40th anniversary there.
Yeah.
Got the hang monster Frank Benici is with us.
Where you been, Frankie?
Yeah. Jeff Shields is joining us, longtime friend of Steve Jankowski. Says hello.
Jankowski, my section mate with Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yeah.
He's one of the main guys that recommended me back to join BS&T, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Jankowski's a monster trumpet player and producer in South Jersey. We love Stevie, and if you're a friend of Steve's, you're a friend of mine, so welcome.
Yeah. Got Justin Cantor is joining us. Let's see. Got a few other people. Got Anthony joining us on Periscope, actually.
Anthony.
Suzanne, Sarah Ann. Got a whole bunch of people. Matt Letter says, hey, thanks for the AMT recommendation. It's working great.
That's working out. Yeah, I got your Matt, I got your Facebook Messenger. Sometimes I'm good with that, and sometimes I'm bad. I didn't reply. I know I replied when we first got involved. I'm glad it's working out. AMT is applied microphone technology. It's what I play on Billy's gig. I've played it for 21 years or 22 years now. Company, USA company, and it's a probably I think it's the best trumpet mic and best instrument mic, period, that clips on your horn, but not your bell. I use it for tenor, I use it for trumpet, I use it for trombone, and it's a wonderful piece of equipment. I know BR, our sound engineer, loves it with Billy, and I've had that small venues, and everybody that I play it for loves it, and I think it's the right way to go, so I'm glad it's working out for you, Matt. I know a lot of guys were talking about other microphone systems and everything, but I lean towards what I know and what works, and 22-year track record, and American company that you can call and deal with is a positive thing. So I'm glad it worked out. Good.
Yep. Let's see. We got Lee. Lee's joining us. Hey, Lee. Vinny Sarley says, hey, Carl, it's Vinny. Make sure and lift your knees, buddy.
Hey, man, that's why you get the hernia, Vin. You got to lift from your knees, else you're going to get a hernia. Vinny and I go way back. He's my boy from Baldwin, Long Island. Yeah, Vin. What's up, Vin? Let's go fishing. I heard there's bluefin tuna in 50 feet right off the beach, bro. Not after this little blow that you guys had. Big hurricane, Henri. I call it Henry. Henri comes. I don't know if the bluefin tuna fell apart, but I heard guys were catching 150-pound tuna, a couple miles off the beach. So
wow. Get
out there, man. Get some sushi. I know you like sushi. Hassan Chop! I'm a sous chef.
That's terrible.
I am I am sushi guy. No, get some shoes. Get some sushi. Say that 6 times. Sushi. No, man. Hopefully the bite stays in Long Island, because you guys need some. The weather's been horrible, I heard, but you guys need some nice weather and some good fishing. So get on it, Finn. Get it.
Speaking of Long Island, we have Luke saying hello from Long Island.
All right.
We've got I'll totally mispronounce this, I'm sure, but Delagianis, Valerie Delagianis.
Val Delagianis. Yeah. I love Delagianis. Val, that's my girl.
Yep.
What's up, Valley?
Hanging out
Valley Val
with us.
I had lunch with Valley and Georgie not too long ago. They were down here. Hey, Val. Love to you guys and the fam. Hopefully we get to see each other sooner than later. Tell your husband to get and James. Well, the real fisherman. George will be mad, but tell James to go get some Hassan Chop sushi tuna.
Let's see. We got Mike Moshman joining us in the chat. What's up?
Hey,
Mike?
What's up there, you jagoff?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, it's Chicago Mikey. What's up, Chicago Mike?
Yeah, so everybody in the chat, if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat.
They don't even need to be questions. Just help me out here. I mean,
yeah.
Tired of hearing myself. I haven't been gone. Steven and I have been gone, what, like 3 months, and we're both tired of hearing each other talk already.
Yeah. So, how's the weather? No.
Well, it's nice. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Henri. Sounds too fancy to be a storm.
How the hell you even name a hurricane Henri? What the hell? And it's not even a hurricane. It's like like a blowhard and 35 knot winds.
It's kind of one of those things where you didn't used to have to think that far ahead in the alphabet. We didn't have that many. Now you're in the Greek alphabet by the end of the storm season.
God, you can't make it up.
Nope. But see, Gina says she likes the fresh haircut.
Oh, thanks, Gina. Funky fresh.
Long Island cousin is missing you. But yeah, man, let's go back and talk a little bit. You mentioned it. I know there's a lot of interest in there was a lot of time off, and I know everybody was excited about getting back, and and I know some of the behind the scenes that went on to get ready is interesting, and what do you the shareable portions, kind of let everybody give everybody some insight on, we had a lot of questions in the hang about what it was going to be like when people got back together, socially, what it was like, and getting back to the stage and getting to play with everybody.
Well, let's just hit one thing at a time. Socially, when friends and family, when there's been no, you can pick up where you left off. Let's just leave it that way. We all picked up where we left off. crew, band, everybody. We all picked up where we left off, which was amazing. That's why it was it's such an organic organization with the Billy Joel camp. We all picked up where we left off, and you can second guess yourself all day long, but really we were the same jokes, the same, the same suspects, or up to the same things, and it was just beautiful to see and bear witness to. So. And it's the same thing with family. It's like, a friend of mine said the other day, we haven't talked in probably 7 years. He goes, we picked up right where we left off. I'm like, that's a sign of a good thing. So that's how I felt with getting back with everybody. That's one of the focuses of one of the questions you asked. I'm very, I have a short attention span. What was the other question?
No, I think it's just getting back to it was, what did you guys like you said, socially you guys just jumped right back in. Was it kind of the same for you guys musically?
It was better.
Yeah.
It was better because, with our band and organization, we don't particularly we haven't had, I think, all right, let me think. I've been with the band. Chuck Bergie and I have been the drummer, wonderful Chuck, and we're in our 15th year. So December will be 16.
Yep.
And so we're the new guys. Well, Mike Del Judas is a little newer than us. He's been there about 7 or 8. But what I'm getting at is, in that time span of 15 years or 16 years, whatever the hell it is, we've only sat down and really buckled down and rehearsed maybe 3 times, where everything was pinpointed. And that in itself, when you feel like you're under the microscope, not that everybody's saying, "Hey, you played the wrong note." Everybody's there. It's a team, from the light rigging to the video to the second soprano part I'm playing to a background vocal to a percussion piece, to everything has its place. And when you're rehearsing, so you tend to think very hard about your task at hand. Whereas on a gig or a sound check, you're just going through, not emotion, but you're going through, things to where you're trying to make something happen. Where here, when you're in a rehearsal, you're really dialing it back and trying to figure out, for us as a horn section with Crystal and Mark and myself, we talked about articulation on a couple of things. Chuck, Andy, myself, the whole band, we talked about tempos on some tunes. We played some different tempos on, kicked it up a couple notches. So we really dissected a lot of parts and made stuff better. But when you think about it, when you're in a practice room like my office right here, you wonder if you can, just get the physical part out and remember it, muscle memory. I'm very thankful that I write everything down and have it in a iPad and paper charts, so I know what I played when I played it. Which is the way I kind of deal with things. And I write cheat sheets, and so we did it this way, but we've reconstructed some stuff with Dave Rosenthal and Tommy and Mark and everybody. We've all tried to improve our game, so that's a wonderful thing. And this is the 3rd time we've done it in 15 years that we really kind of dissected stuff, and the band sounds better. It just gets. It's so musically, it's fun and it's stressful because you're picking things apart, and my weakness might be different than someone else's weakness, and everybody comes together and it becomes a band. And then Billy comes and he starts doing his thing. Well, let's try this. Let's do it. And it's a really nice workshop. It's a very cool thing, and including BR, what works in a stadium, out front mixing, including our one of our producers and lighting director, Steve Cohen, what looks good and what sounds good and what works in the set. So there's just so many great things across the board that everybody's on their game and working to make it better. So that's a wonderful thing. And it was great. And it was, it was a lot. I mean, we were there. It wasn't, we weren't there 2 hours, a day. I was getting there at 9:30 and I was leaving at 6:30, sometimes 7. We ate lunch. We had we had breakfast, we had lunch and dinner. But hey, man, we worked, so it was fun. It was really a positive thing, which is great because everybody was excited.
Yeah, no,
So hopefully that answers that.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then kind of leading up to things, how I know one of the questions that I'm seeing a lot is how did the lead up to the first show kind of change? I mean, you mentioned it a little bit about kind of the new world and having to do things a little bit differently in order to just make things happen, and be able to even do the shows. So what kind of effect did that have on you guys? And I know everybody's just do your part, and just everybody's doing whatever they can to make it as easy as they can. So maybe talk about that a little bit. I know people are interested.
Well, to start off with, we have the best organization, I feel, and the best crew ever known to man, a touring group that will make anything happen, starting from Bobby Thrasher, Boomer, and his family, and Vinny Palafrone, and Wayne Williams, and Chainsaw, and Mike Grizel, and Max Lubieri, our tour director, and I can go on, and Liz, and just everybody is just so adamant about making the situation positive and making the show run the way it runs. So that being said, being a musician, and crew-wise too, we're all social beings. We want to shake hands. We want to kiss babies. We want to hug people, and we don't do that. We're very, we kept everything very close knit. We all know each other. We all know we're not sick. God forbid something happens. So we're all together, and we're keeping our family very close together. And that is a hard feat on a touring show. And then afterwards, part of the social thing is going out and having a drink at the bar or what have you. We don't do that now. Again, we stay close. So that's been a hard thing. Not a hard thing, but a different thing, because the social aspect is not there per se with our friends and family that are not on a tour with us. Like for instance, my wife, all our wives and daughters and sons and everybody stayed home. Just trying to keep it, less very controlled. And I think in this day and time, that's very important to do that. Other acts can do what they do, but this is what's working for us, and we're gonna go with it. And so far, it's been good. Knock on wood. We've had a few little issues, but for the most part, man, we're rocking and rolling. And I have to say, Billy is crushing the hell out of everything he does, and is happy and looks great. He sounds so great. He sounds so strong. Singing, his range, his pipes are great. His piano playing, everything is just really great. He's just an inspiration for everybody. So
it's awesome. It's good. And I know, it's it feels like a sacrifice, to not have that social aspect to it, but it's kind of a small thing in the grand scheme when you think of just having the ability to go out and have these shows and have concerts and live music to be able to go to. It's kind of a small sacrifice when you look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely. We're playing again, when I'm on stage and the whole band's on stage at Fenway Park, and you're looking at 40,000 plus people, and everybody's jamming out along, and you're in Buffalo, and the weather's gorgeous in Buffalo, and you're looking at a football stadium. By the way, Billy fills a football stadium full of people that I love Beyonce, she couldn't fill that place. Last time she did it, it was soft tickets. She didn't fill a place. Billy Joel comes back and sells the place out. I love Beyonce. I'd go to a Beyonce concert. But freaking Billy Joel comes and sells the place out. Come on, man. That's pretty mega, man. God bless that guy. God bless Beyonce, too. I'm not saying, and it's not a knock on her. I'm just saying that's pretty damn cool.
Yep. That's awesome. Had a couple things since we were talking about rehearsals. One came from Anthony. Anthony's watching on Periscope. He's asking who leads the rehearsal, and he's kind of interested in a breakdown of how the rehearsals work. How much of it is the band by itself? How much of it includes Billy? Is Billy there for a majority? Things like that. If you would talk about that a little bit, if you can.
Yeah, if I do, I have to kill you. So yeah. Granted, this is the third or fourth time this has ever happened. So it's not like a typical thing. But our music director usually deals with the direction part of it, along with producers and front of house and. With Brian Ruggles and Steve Cohen, they help out quite a bit. But our music director, David Rosenthal, a pianist, comes up with, I think we had, at rehearsals, 75? No. It was close to 80 tunes that we were going to play.
Oh, wow.
And each day, some we had never even played. And each day we'd have a list of tunes. We had the tunes prior to us going to rehearsal. Everybody's expected to figure out what they got to play and figure it out, come together and rehearse it. So we'd have, let's say, maybe 18 to 20 tunes a day. We did 24, so we did 5 days of 8 to 10 hour days of that. The first day we started kind of light as far as the stuff we all normally play, the hits, and then we started digging in a little deeper. I believe Billy came the last 2 or 3 days. I don't know if it was 3 or 2. I think it was 2. 2.5. I think he came 2.5 days. And just knocked it. He came out and, Billy's self-deprecating. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. And, first tune, he's just crushing it, Maybe the second tune, it's like everybody, the second or third tune, your muscle memory is not as strong. And so all of us kind of struggle, but you get through past that struggle and everything becomes stronger. So it was amazing. We all had our ramp ups. And by, I'd say, the 5th or 6th day, the band sounded like the band. And by the 7th day, the band was better than I ever heard it in my 15 years of being in the band. And it's a great band. It's a great band. I am so honored and fortunate to be a part of this ensemble of people. Not only the great musicians, everybody's a great person, and like I said, we couldn't do it without our crew and production team, because they're the ones that work hard. We're lucky. We're very lucky. So that's, and like I said, Billy came at the end for 2.5 days and got his feet wet, and we had a blast. So hopefully that answered those questions.
Yeah, it's great. Let's see. Lori says, yes, so glad you guys are being smart and safe. Billy looks fabulous and sounds so good. Noah says that he saw some videos from the shows from fellow fans. You guys are really knocking it out of the park. So yeah, got a lot of nice words. And actually, thanks to Myrna and BillyJoel.com, I actually have a couple photos here. Let me see here.
Throw them up. Let's see something.
Yeah, this is before sound check at Fenway for the first show. So
man. I'll talk about that. Usually our dressing room, if you look at that, our dressing room, so that's from the stage. That's a picture from the stage. That's actually probably on my riser or in the middle of the stage where Billy is. And that's looking into the audience. Our dressing room was the Boston Red Sox clubhouse, which is basically through the dugout on the left-hand side. Underneath the red seats, you go through the batting cages and you go up a stairway. And for years, I think we've been there. This is a 7th or 8th year summer there. For years, our dressing room was inside Fenway Park at the clubhouse, where Boston Fenway, where the Boston Red Sox are. And I'm a Yankees fan. I swear I didn't do anything wrong. I thought about it, but I didn't. But this time with COVID and everything that's happening, we're not in there. So what's amazing was everybody's forethought is, we're not sharing a dressing room with the Red Sox, 'cause they were going to be in there a week later or whoever. And I think there was multiple concerts there. So the night before there was another band there, and after us there was another band there. So long story short is we were across the street behind the stage. I can't remember the street. Was it Boylston Street? I'm having a brain freeze. We were across the street at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, really?
Yes. Was it the Hard Rock? Hard Rock. And our production and dressing rooms were the whole stage area and dressing rooms of the Hard Rock Cafe. Our whole organization was in there.
Oh, wow.
And before the show, we walk across the street, go in the outfield, and go up to the stage. So it was really thought out well and disinfected right. And, but yeah, it was different because I never seen it from that angle before. So we did miss the hot dogs in the dugout. I did miss seeing Big Poppy's. The first couple of years, my area was near Big Poppy's area, so that was kind of cool. I guess because I'm big too. I don't know. But I can't swing a baseball bat.
See, I got a couple other ones from Fenway here. You before sound check, setting up your sax.
Going through reed hell.
Did you find any?
Yeah, I go through about 10 reeds before I get two that I think I can use. So
yeah,
me and Mark get there early and go through reeds. That's what I was doing there. Not really a a flattering picture. Sucking on a piece of wood in a mouth.
But it shows. It's an action photo. Oh, there you go. You're missing the part.
Yeah. See, go through reeds, man.
Oh, hang on. I got you. There you go.
Always with the sax. Trumpets, you're always trying to get your chops together. Saxophone, it's always you're as good as your best reed. They're all numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, these are good.
So you got a couple from the show at Fenway. This is one where you were switching microphones between trumpet and trombone, and you had the horn in one hand, something else in the other hand, and a microphone in your mouth.
Sounds about right. Smoking it like a cigar.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got from Fenway here. This was towards the end of the show. I think
it's Thomas and Mark and Crystal and Billy. Yeah. My Dizzy Gillespie. Well, it's not a Dizzy horn. It's my elephant trumpet. Yeah.
Yep. I got a couple from Highmark as well, the show in Buffalo, that show the horn a little bit better, but a couple that people may have not seen yet. This is from Soundcheck, getting the stage set up, a little behind the scenes for people.
With the mask. Yep.
Yeah. And then
I have the same shirt on.
Yep.
I should be a sound check.
Got another one from Soundcheck here.
That's the new elephant trunk CF horn. Crystal and Mark tearing it up.
Yep. Then we got one from.
Actually, if you back up, that shot too. You can tell I'm playing with no energy demand. I'm playing like a middle C. I'm not playing with any energy. My hernia wasn't popping out at all. By the way, the following day, actually, I had to change my flights. The following day after these shows, after the first show in Boston, I had to take a later flight because I could barely get out of bed. My stomach hurt so bad. Really? For a week, I could barely touch my stomach. And Buffalo, I had about 3 days, and I was cool. But so from now on, I'm taking late flights to heal. I said, I'm just going to sit in bed, have breakfast, relax, have some coffee, and chill because it's painful.
Let's see. I think I got one more from Highmark here. One with you guys up front.
Yeah, the horns. Cool.
Yep. So thanks to Myrna and thanks to Myrna and Olivia and the BillyJoel.com for those.
Yes.
So, oops. There we go. Thought we were going downhill there for a second.
No, it could be. It's early but late enough.
Hey, it's been gremlin free so far. So
don't try. Don't chance it.
Let's see. Foreseen John. Hey Carl, first time here. It says make sure to choose the reed with the least mold.
Well, that's why I play That's one of the reasons why I play plastic covers.
Yeah.
Play plastic cover reeds. They're a little bit more sanitary, and they work out great when you're outdoors. For me, I need a bright and loud sound anyway in a rock and roll situation, so I play a lot of I play all plastic covers on my tenor, and they're easier to. I think they're a little cleaner because they're plastic covered and you don't get the mold. And yeah.
So that's Fenway and Buffalo, and a couple pictures there for you guys, and a little bit of information about the rehearsals. So got a couple other things. I know you got it.
Before you start answering questions, I am going to play opposite. So Stephen, let's ask you some questions. All right. I can't see the chat, so I'm just guys in the fish heads, guys and girls in the chat. Entertain me here. I'm going to prompt a couple. So, Stephen, what have you been up to on your summer break? How you been doing? What's going on? What have you been up to? You have a nice colored office now. What's happening?
I do. I've got the office back together. I'm super fancy now. Are you ready for this?
What do you got?
I put my desk on hydraulics.
Oh, you're a lowrider now.
Yeah, so I don't have to sit down and listen to you talk the whole time.
It actually is on a worm gear. It goes up and down. You don't have to touch it. It's a motor.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's makes it a lot nicer. So, yes, that's what I did on summer vacation. But
so like you can do jumping jacks. You can run in place.
Yeah. I got my bike over here.
You can jump rope.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my bike over on the side.
You can have sword fights like Step Brothers.
I'm actually having one now under the desk.
Oh, that's funny.
Let me see if I knock everything over while I put it down here. Hey,
that's cool.
It's the little things that make me happy, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good.
Oh, but yeah, no, we've been working a lot on the house. And
good.
Yeah, we got new carpet and just kind of sorting things, and believe it or not, getting rid of things is a nice feeling. So my girlfriend Elizabeth, who we've mentioned on here a couple times, she's great at keeping me in check and saying, hey, we really don't need all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I want it. But so it's been a lot of that, and actually I'm just getting ready to send my horn out for cleaning and jump back on.
When was the last time you played? All right.
Do you want the honest answer?
Yes. What's the last time you played your horn?
The last gig that I did was right before I got sick, January 24th of 2020. I came back from the gig with you in Jersey.
With T.Ë.T.I?
Yep. And
I think you and Louise, the drummer, I think both you guys probably had COVID before it was COVID.
Yeah. Yep. That was it was definitely a rough few months, but
yeah, I mean, both you guys were troopers. I mean, poor Lewis was, he was getting sick before the gig, and you were getting sick on the gig.
Yeah. Actually, Jay saved me on that gig.
Yeah, Jay, our sound man, who's Billy's, he's our sound man with Billy too. We use Jay and Blood, Sweat and Tears sound man, Smick. So Jay saved you on that, huh? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, there was a couple times where I had to run off the stage, and he was making sure everything was okay while he was doing sound. While he was doing monitors, he was still making sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay's the man.
Still making sure everybody was okay and stuff like that. So yeah,
you had a rough go. You had a rough go of it though, man. You were sick for quite a while, I remember.
Yeah, I didn't
multiple times.
Yeah, I didn't hold a meal down for about 4 months.
Wow.
So yeah, it was rough, but it is what it is, and I know there's people out there that have a lot worse time. Like you said, how do you complain, you know? But
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back together. I've only played once since then, when I did a little recording for the for that marching project.
Oh, the virtual arts thing. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great. Played flugelhorn. Yeah, it was
yeah.
nice.
And
Right.
besides that, it's just been a lot of tech work, a lot of video work. You know, getting some things for the Ted-I stuff put together and sorted and backed up, and terabytes of data.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah, so I'm ready to put it out there and get the horn cleaned back up, and
Start playing again.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that'd be good.
we're a lot of people were asking about you on the Billy tour and off the Billy tour, and just acquaintances, and I was like, man. There was a minute there. I was like, I don't know where or what he is, but he's not well. So, like we both don't like self pity, but I will say that I am so thankful that you're keeping meals down now and feeling
Yeah,
good, and with us, because I know a lot of people don't have that, their family members that that are still with us. So
hmm,
you, hey man, we have a lot to be thankful for, but I'm glad you came out the other side,
yeah.
and your horn probably has every type of parasite in it.
Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared to even open it. To be honest, I'm just gonna pack it up in the case and send it.
just you know what? Do what I do. Just throw it in the ocean. Salt water
Yeah,
cleans everything. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. But the
Oh
good
man.
thing is during the whole pandemic, I did learn how to hand roll pasta, so I gained all the weight back.
I know. I seen those posts, man. Yeah, that's badass. Cool.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's it.
cool.
That's it, man.
Any questions for Melissa's giving you? I think I see prayers and hearts, so that's
Yep,
good. I can't read the rest of them.
yep,
I wish I could because I'm
yep.
blind.
Lori
But
says thanks. Glad you're doing better. I appreciate that, Lori. Um, but yeah, no, that was my summer vacation. Even though all the days bleed together,
Groundhog Day.
it's so crazy, isn't it? I mean, I will be completely honest. I've been struggling with it because you every day is the same. You know,
Yep.
I've been trying to force myself to do certain things, and it's harder than I thought it was gonna be. You know,
Yep.
because I have no interest in being around certain people. Everybody in the chat I want to be around, of course, but
No, I know what you mean. And yeah, again, I have to say we're fortunate, but at the same token,
yeah,
the pandemic has taken a lot of different things that you would take for granted that just brings different scenarios to people. I'm like, wow, okay.
hmm,
So hopefully everybody, the main thing is, one of the reasons why Stephen and I think, wanted to kind of regroup and have a catch up hang is I miss being social. You miss being social. I
yeah,
miss the hang. And, I'm very fortunate. I think that Billy Camp's very fortunate. We were all back together again and working on some stuff. So the last 2 months I've been, trying to get physically better, and Steven's been trying to get physically better. And so kind of back, but everybody has to have an outlet. And, you know, there's no right or wrong. Just get through it. That's all I can say, right?
yep, yeah. James James says, glad you're feeling better. When you play a gig in Jersey, you can take anything home with you, you know?
James, you're 100% right.
Oh, man.
Those Jersey gigs, I always get sick on the Jersey gigs.
That's it's good to see you in the chat there, James. But I know we've got a lot of people in the chat that have come over from a couple of the Maynard Ferguson fan pages. So I did want to take a second and give recognition to the 15th anniversary of Maynard passing. I know that every
Keep on
single
talking.
year.
I'm gonna keep on talking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get something just
Okay.
because I have to get something.
Yeah, no, I know I know that's something that every single year, there. I know my Facebook feed is just full of every single trumpet player you can imagine, and musician, and touring professional, and it's basically like 3 days of my Facebook feed is just tributes to Maynard in different ways. So I know it's definitely. Oh, what do you got?
No, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I haven't. I was gonna open it yesterday, but I didn't. I didn't.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
didn't open it. I wanted to open it yesterday, and I couldn't. And yeah. So you brought up some really good points. This is one of two horns I have of Maynard Ferguson's. So yeah, 15 years ago we lost the best human and musician trumpet player, I think. Yeah, it got the original case. The case smells.
Really?
Yeah, smells horrible. Smells like mold. Tag. Yeah. So this was Maynard's con. One of his cons. He had many of them. I found this one. I played this horn for a long time on Maynard's band. This is a 1961 Constellation that I found in his closet that he gave me. That was beat up really bad. I had silver plated 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. I wore through the plating, but this was his 1961 silver plated. See, I wore through the valve casing there. Mm-hmm. 38B Maynard's horn. I have his mouthpiece too, and I also have a super bone. But yeah, this is his 38B. I was gonna play it yesterday, and I haven't played in a couple days. I just didn't feel up to it. But hey, I get to show everybody the horn.
Yep.
We did something with Stephen. Remember that MacArthur Park thing we did?
Yeah.
With the London, the nurses, it was for the nursing, the United Kingdom Nurses Union. Mm-hmm. I played this horn. I played MacArthur Park excerpt on Maynard's 38B, 1961. So yeah, it's a cool horn, old Maine. Yep. We miss him, and he made the world a better place. And what blows my mind about Maynard is there is 15-year-old, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12 years old, and 16-year-olds that never heard Maynard Ferguson play live. Mm-hmm. Which, venture to say, a life-changing experience, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I know we've talked about it on here before, but the thing is, I think the thing that's most interesting about it is we could talk about it every single week and it still means the same. You know, yep. It's like, it's not an act when people come on here and talk, you know, about Maynard and the effect, you know, that he had on them, either as a band member or a fan, or, you know, just as a person. So it's definitely one of those things where you see and hear him all the time. And I know Carl talks about it all the time, about how you can turn around and feel Maynard there in certain ways or certain sounds, you know. So.
Yeah, there's a presence there, right?
Mm-hmm. What'd you go get? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm geeking out because I haven't took him out in a while. This is another mouthpiece he gave me. This is one of his rejects. I wish I had my glass. This is one of the MF Jet tones. Mm-hmm. Back in the day. When I first got in the band, he had a whole bunch of them. He was starting to play the Monettes, but when I first got in the band, he was still playing jet tones, and he was having problems with them, but this is one of them. He's like, take this mouthpiece away from me. And so that's one of them, a tiny MF cup. And then this mouthpiece is probably worth a ton of money. I wish maybe. This is one of the first Monet MF mouthpieces that he gave me, that he played for a while, and I'm going to try to zoom in. This was before it was the Prana and all those names. This was Dave Monet was coming out quite a bit. I love Dave. We were going out and eating a lot of Indian food with Maynard. Maynard loved Indian food, and so did Dave, and I became very fond of it after I learned how to eat Indian food, the right stuff. This was one of the dishes that we used to get, dosa, D-O-S-A. And so this is MF2. So this is the second mouthpiece. Let's see if I can zoom in. Can we see? Tell me if you can see the writing.
It's a little bit difficult, but it's quite a bit of it. Oh, there you go. There's Monet. Yep. M-O-N-E-T-T-E. Yep. MF2. Oh, it's got the dosa written right on it.
Look underneath where my finger is, 22.
Okay.
That is the throat size.
Oh my goodness. You could drive through it.
he was playing it. If you're a trumpet guy, this was a 22 dosa that he played, and he sounded unbelievable on it for maybe about 5 or 6 songs. And then I think the MF3 was a 19 throat, or maybe the MF1 was a 19 throat, which is even a bigger throat. The lower the number, and your average throat on a trumpet mouthpiece is 26, 27. And he's playing a large bore trumpet on top of it, and it's a cup. So this is one again. He's like, I don't think I like this mouthpiece. You want it? I'm like, yeah, let me try it. I played it for about a week and wasn't the man I thought I was. And these are 2 of the mouthpieces. I got
great.
I got one of his trombones too. One of his super bones. Yeah, I miss him every day. I don't have to say that everybody does. Everybody misses his sound and his demeanor. I spoke to Ed Sargent yesterday quickly via text, who was Maynard's manager for over 25 years. I text Danny Falcone, who did a nice version of Danny Boy.
Yeah.
Which was very nice. Talked to him. Talked to Kevin Meads yesterday. Had a couple of nice chats between Mike MacArthur and Sal Giorgiani, and very quick things. We're all. It's always a sad day, but at the same time, he's like, it's a celebration. You kind of laugh. You also think about all the fun things that we did, and I thank the Lord that He looks over us, and He's missed, and his family, Wilder, and Lisa, and Kim, and Pete, and his family. Thoughts are out with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't want the show to go by without mentioning that, but let's talk about future. What's coming up? What's exciting?
There is a future?
Well, let's see. Let's make one.
No, there is. I think September 9th. Let me look at my phone. I think September 9th. I am going to have. So we talked about Indian food with dosa, which is very important. Let me look at I'm looking at my thing here. So September 9th, I fly out. September 10th, it's a Friday. We're at Great American Ballpark, Cincinnati. And we've been to Cincinnati a few times, but if you haven't been to Cincinnati and had Skyline chili, you're not dealing with hot dogs and chili the way you need to be dealing with hot dogs and chili. You got to get the inversion of the hot Skyline chili, the inversion with the cheese on the bottom. Yeah. So you got to do that. It's part of the thing you do in Cincinnati. And so we're excited. We're going out the day before we play the 10th, and so we're excited about that. That should be a nice ballpark. Hopefully the weather will stay nice, and get to play with the guys and girls. So that's exciting. What about you?
Oh, sorry. I thought I lost you there for a second. It cut out on my end. I
Oh.
think we're good. But yeah, no, it's good. It's just funny to me that everybody's talking about Fenway and Cincinnati and stuff, and you mentioned hot dogs and chili.
Actually, it's the chili. It's a chili on spaghetti.
Right. Yeah.
Chili on spaghetti with cheese. Yeah, you get the inversion. Yeah, you gotta get the inversion.
Yes.
It's
Sorry.
cool. You know, the gig's cool too. But you got to go to Skyline Chili. You know,
Right.
and hurt yourself. It's
Yep.
part. You know, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. You go to Italy, you don't get Chinese food. You know what I mean? You know, you go to China, you don't get French food. You know,
Exactly.
So and when we're in Buffalo, I tried to play. I have to say, when we're in Buffalo, I ordered the first night. I didn't go out. I ordered. I was a mile and a half away from the Anchor Bar, the best Buffalo chicken wings. I used to love the Anchor Bar. I ordered some. Uber Eats came to the hotel. I was so excited. They were freaking horrible.
Really?
I'm like, I could have made better chicken wings. So then I hear Duffy's chicken wings. I'm like, so I had Duffy's the day after we had some in production. They were really good. I know a lot of the Billy people, fans and everything went to Duff's. Are we getting sound? I'm hearing no sound here.
Looks like everything's going out.
All right, cool.
Give
So
us
yeah,
give
Duffy's
us
was
give us an okay in the chat, guys, if you're able to hear, or if we're having an
1,
issue.
2. 1,
So,
2, 1, 2.
We're
So
on
yeah,
a delay.
Duffy's was cool. Duffy's worked out good, but Anchor Bar really let their guard down, man. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting an okay in the chat. Thank you, Anthony, Lori, Larry. So we're good. But speaking of food, you know what has happened though since I've started cooking more? I'm disappointed with every restaurant that we used to order from.
Absolutely, because you have a standard now.
I'm making homemade arancinis, and we're like, oh, it's a fresh pasta place. I'm like, no, it's not. I turned into a snob about it.
You have, but you know what we need to do when I come to Chicago?
Yeah.
I don't know when the hell it's going to be, but when I come to the Midwest to see you,
Yep.
which has to be sooner than later, our place, Steven and I, we talk about food. We always go to La Scarola.
Oh yeah. Yep.
When was the last time you went there, bro?
Actually, it was with somebody that's hanging out in the chat right now, Mr. Stanley Wozniak and Mike Moshman.
Stanley's on?
Yeah, Stan
Hey.
and Mike are both here. Yep.
Oh, I know Mike's on because Mike is like he's like the CIA, man. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
I love Mike, but Stan. I mean, we're all better people because Stanley's on.
Yeah. He says he happens to be part Japanese and he's insulted by the sushi comment. Stan Hakasan.
Hassan Chop. Oh, I'm gonna come there and chop you. Yeah, Stanley, we miss you, bro. Well, that's Stanley. Stanley was the one that brings us, man.
Yep.
I miss you, Stanley and Mike. I mean, we need to go. You talk about making pasta. We need to go and try that stuff, man. That's like crack.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Stanley and Mike eat some of that Skyline chili, though, and see what happens to those guys.
I'm sure they'd be all right.
Stanley, come to Cincinnati. I'm not going to be able to see you, but just text me a picture of you eating Skyline chili with a white shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's great. Oh, so we now know officially that the microphones are working because Rana Swansky has spoken and said that the mic check is okay.
What's up, Rooney? What's up, Rooney? I don't have my EMTs over there. Hassan! Chop!
Oh man.
I got problems. Hey, man, we need to go fishing. I sold the boat, Ron. Oh, man. I sold the boat. I'm looking for another one. Ron's my organ player / fishing partner. So, did I lose you? I lost you.
No, we're here. We're here. So, let's see. Who else do we got going on here? Got Mike.
Actually, one of my favorites. I got to see how I can tell this story where I don't get thrown in jail. There was a little place called The Joint in Chicago. Steven worked at that Stanley. Can I say it was Stanley's Joint? Would that be appropriate?
Yeah.
Stanley's Joint. Who's on here? And Stanley, we love Stanley. Stanley's in the business. He was. You think he'd be mad if I told everybody what he did with a famous guy that people would freak out on?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Stanley was Frank Sinatra's security director for years. When I first met Stanley, they're like, "Oh, this was Frank's guy." I'm like, "Really?" So Stanley is a sharp guy, dude, and he had a place called The Joint. Whenever we come through town, he's just a great cat. So Stanley talks to me, and we bring Organic Groove, my small organ band, and the organ player is Ron Oswanski. I call him the Polish organ player. He's like, he plays accordion, polkas better than anybody, but he also plays Hammond B3, like, the likes of Jack McDuff and Jimmy Smith. He's a funky dude. So we come into The Joint in Chicago, and Steven's there. You were starting to work at the club at that point.
Lugging that Leslie cabinet around for 3 days.
Yeah, you carried a cabinet. Yeah, you and your boy brought the Leslie cabinet.
Yeah.
We played. I'm trying to say this without... So we had a party afterwards, like normal. Mm-hmm. And how can I explain this? It was probably the funniest... I've had a lot of funny moments. But Ron and Stanley, I want to just say... Do not eat sweets before you have to get on a plane at 4 a.m. in the morning, especially if you don't know where the sweets have been, because we had such a great hang, and Stanley opened up the club, and we had a great night, and the guys from Billy's band, Tommy Burns came, the crew came. It was a wonderful night, and there's been a lot of wonderful nights at his place, and the place is not there no longer, but Stanley's got a lot of stuff, great stuff going on, and Mike also, and Paulie. So anyway, I just want to thank you, man. We always have so much fun with you, and we miss you, and the history, having Sinatra, Billy Joel, and then a friend of mine texted me today. He goes, "Hey, you ever hear this guy named Louis Prima?" And Louis Prima is wonderful. He's passed away a long time ago. Wonderful trumpet player and singer, Italian-American guy. And my uncle used to play piano in Louis Prima's band. And Stanley, it's funny that I'm bringing this up now, but Stanley introduced me to Louis Prima's daughter, Lena. And you were with me, Steven, in New Orleans. Yeah. Where I played New Orleans Jazz Fest. Yep. And we're having dinner with Stanley, and there's Lena Prima.
At the Carousel.
Yeah. At the Carousel. Oh, my God. And she's playing. Actually, Billy, that night, was it the night before? Billy and I sat in with Lena at the Carousel. Billy Joel was in town, and we were playing in town at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, which, by the way, this year is canceled because of COVID. Sucks. Horrible. But we're at the Carousel Bar, which is great, and down in a quarter, like Max would say, in a quarter.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, there's Lena Prima, and so I got to talking to Lena and have a great friendship with her, and like I said, I knew her dad, and she's a wonderful singer, and it's funny just how, just even in this hang tonight, 6 degrees of separation, Cool.
Yep.
All right, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, and this will really trip you out. Elizabeth and I have been together almost 10 years. That was our first trip out of the Chicago area together.
Really?
Yeah, and we were in the van with Stan. So I don't know why she stayed around.
Yeah, I mean, she's a keeper.
Yeah.
That was didn't we have lunch across from, what was that? Okay, it's going to come to me. The guy that got thrown in jail, the trumpet player that got put in jail.
Irvin
Mayfield's place.
Yeah.
We had a club. We had lunch across from Irvin's place.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I first met your girl, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
With Stanley, and you guys drove all night
yep.
into that place bed. And that was that night I met Lena. And that was the first time I met your girl. That's crazy.
Me, Elizabeth, Stan, and Sarah, actually. made the trip.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. We had great times.
Yeah, it was a good time. Speaking of good times, Luis Alicea has joined us in the chat.
Bobby, what's up, brother? I guess he's not talking to us.
He's not going to answer.
I'm just going to, all right, so I'm going to move it forward a little bit because
Go for it.
Luis, if you don't know Luis Alicea, he is a wonderful drummer. He plays with me with T.Ë.T.I, tribute to evolutionary trumpet icons. He's in Al Di Meola's band, the great fusion guitar player. He has a couple bands on his own. He plays with Electric Rendezvous, excuse my pronunciation, with Goombie Ortiz, who we all love, who's a great percussionist. He's just a well-rounded guy, and he was in Jersey. We seen his dad when we were playing with T.Ë.T.I, and both you guys got sick. But I'm gonna move it a little forward with Luis. In the last 2.5-3 months, I did go into the studio twice. Mike MacArthur and Ronnie D and Doug Johnson's All Access Studios. We went in twice and laid some percussion down on some Maynard Ferguson stuff. And Luis, I can't remember. Was it all Maynard? No. Was it some Dizzy? I think he did some Dizzy stuff too. I'm almost positive he played. But Luis came in and played Latin percussion, congas, no timbales. He played some djembe, some stuff I don't even know how to pronounce. It's one thing being a wonderful drummer that can play different grooves, which he can, but his percussion thing, his hands are so badass. He brought a totally different color to something, and we had a couple talk. Oh, we did a swing thing that I'll talk about when it comes out because it's still not done, Luis. But anyway, long story short, he came in and just crushed it, and we had 2 percussion days that were just, so having a drum kit player, which I knew he was, but I also knew he played percussion, and man, we had a blast. So I love you, man. Hope all's well. Hope the kids are good. The first gig we did with T.Ë.T.I, his daughter was born the day before, and he still made the gig. God bless him.
Yeah,
she's 3 now. She's 3 years. She's 3 now. You believe that?
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
And if she's Lewis's kid, she's probably smoking and drinking.
I still remember when you told him, "Hey, listen, if we got to do something else, I understand." He's like, "Are you kidding me? This is my gig."
Yeah. Oh, he's devoted, bro. He's the best.
She'll have other birthdays. Oh, man. But anyway, yeah, Luis, good to see you in the chat, buddy. Do me a favor, everybody in the chat. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I know we're getting close to 90 minutes here. Yep. Yeah, Luis says his kids they're drinking all day. Yep.
Hopefully milk.
Yeah, right. It's Florida. You never know.
Luis, we need to hook up and eat some food, bro. I've been thinking about you the last couple of days, and we just life gets in the way. And Luis and I actually have another band called you have to say this fast, like 6 times. Sunshine City Brass. And it's Luis on drums, and it's Elias Tona on bass and piano. And we did a trio, and we actually had guest artists. We had Ronnie D sing and play a little tenor, and we also had I'm going back to New York. I'm talking about a New York tenor player, but we had Kyle Schroeder come and play alto and some tenor with us, and that was a St. Petersburg second line funk, second line jazz, kind of funk jazz second line band, Zydeco, and we're going to get that back together again once life kind of settles down a little bit more and we get through the Delta thing. We're going to start gigging with that. But I know Luis, keep an eye out for Luis. He's playing a Clearwater Jazz Holiday very shortly with Electric Rendezvous with Goombie. It's a wonderful band. But yeah, we got to get some stuff together and start playing again. We'll do it right here where we did last time. Start playing and sharing with the people.
Yep.
And if you don't have questions, just comments, anything. Give us something to work with, right, Steven?
Yeah, exactly. Len Ramsey says, just an FYI, there's a Skyline in Fort Lauderdale.
I've been there, my friend. There's one in Lauderdale on the beach. I've been to that one, and there's one here there's one in Clearwater. Yeah, so yeah, I'm quite aware. And if you're really crazy like I am, you can go to certain stores and get the canned Skyline chili and make it yourself.
Yeah,
it's not pretty.
Before or after.
It's painful. It's a good pain, though. It's an acquired pain.
Yeah. Let's see. We got... Oh, it wouldn't be a hang if we didn't have Ezekiel, Gama, and the guys at the JOG Corner Store.
Hey, what the hell are you selling on the corner? That's what I want to know. Cool.
Yeah.
Corner store. What's up, guys?
Yep.
How you guys doing? You hanging out with Steven? Hey, corner store. How much can you pawn this horn? You can at least get $50 for this horn. I swear.
It's Chicago.
Maynard Ferguson's.
It's Chicago.
Maybe
we can get
$75.
$350.
Maybe $75 for this horn. Actually, if I had to sell, I would never sell this horn, but if I had to sell it, it would be for six figures. I can't even count to 5, but it would have to have a 6-figure in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So the corner store, how you guys doing? Hopefully your summer's good. I think school's starting for Chicago guys soon, right? Next week?
Yep.
It's crazy.
I know one of the guys has already started, and 2 more start this week. So
I gotta say, Gina and Bobby, their wonderful daughter Claudia, who's my niece, she's back in college.
Oh wow!
I was actually got a little teary eyed. I mean, it's a second year already, but still, it blows my mind. She's a sweetheart. And then my goddaughter tonight, earlier, she's going to college tomorrow morning. She's driving up.
Man. And
blew my mind. You know, it's just like, what happened? And so everybody's starting college, and I'm like, whew. It's like I said to her, and I'll say to everybody else, be kind and compassionate. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Forget the drama and have a good time. That's all you can do. You know?
Exactly. Let's see. Len is asking if you've ever done the Montgomery Inn in Cincy. If you like ribs, apparently that's a place to go.
No, it's a rib place, huh?
Yeah, called the Montgomery Inn.
All right. Should I go there instead of Skyline? I'll go to Sky. Well, no. If I go to Skyline, I have to time Skyline right. It's a timing issue.
Yeah.
Montgomery Inn. I'll check it out. I will check it out. It's about local cuisine.
Yep. We have. Let's see.
How cool that looks.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, he never played a jet tone on this. 61 and 93. So the mouthpiece is 94. Yeah, 93. And the horn's a 61. So this combination was never together with Maynard. This is Maynard's horn and mouthpiece. But it looks cool. And then if you go into 2000, I joined Maynard's band in the winter of 93. So this was like 94, 95, this mouthpiece. And what was amazing when I talked to Dave Monette, who made this mouthpiece, I said to Dave, I'm like, make him a Constellation, make him a medium bore. That's what he liked. He talked about it. And he's, all the reference recordings back in the day, my ears really lended towards his Constellation 38B days. But again, this is another combination he didn't play, but this was his mouthpiece and this was his horn at different times. It's kind of cool. I'd like to find out. I'm really into matching things. I'd like to find out the mouthpiece he played on his horn. That's what I got to figure out. Put in a trumpet case. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm geeking out.
That's all right.
I went from college kids, goddaughters, nieces and nephews
to Chile,
to mouthpieces.
It all makes sense in our world.
I have issues, don't I?
It all makes sense in our world. Let's see. Rick Craig has joined us in the chat saying hello.
What's up, Rick?
Oh, what do you got? Let me make you bigger here. There you go.
Rick is a wonderful drummer from L.A. who lives in Florida now. He's a great drummer. Here's my elephant trunk CF horn. This is a cool one too. So Rick's a great drummer. How you doing, Rick? Rick played with one of my favorite saxophone players of all time, George Allgaier, rest his soul. I first heard Rick on Old White Town, which is a record that George did in the 80s when he was in University of Miami that Rick went to, and Rick Fibracci, who was the bass player, who was also with me with Blood, Sweat, and Tears, who was a wonderful bass player and great human being.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the drummer. Was it Jim White? I can't remember. Great record. Anyway, Rick is a wonderful guy here in town, and hope all's well, buddy.
Yeah.
I gotta mention one more thing. There was not to be dark and sad, but Rick will attest to this, and Mike MacArthur, if he's here, and any local Tampa guy. We did lose another gentleman about 3 weeks ago, Dave Reinhardt Sr. was a saxophone player, tenor player, wonderful, wonderful musician, and even a better person. He passed away. Ron Reinhardt Jr. is a piano player, and Dave Reinhardt is a drummer. He raised two wonderful boys, wonderful musicians and great human beings also. Mm-hmm. And his wife is still around. She's doing well. God rest his soul. And, let's give praise and strength to his family. His prowess on his instrument and humankind was wonderful, and he was going to be missed. And Ron and Dave are just stewards of groove and feeling good and playing great. Ron plays with Richard Elliott for the last 30-something years, and Dave has done everything under the sun, is one of the best drummers I love playing with. If you want to check out Dave, just check out Richard Elliott and check out Dave Reinhardt. He's on a whole bunch of stuff, but recently, maybe you can post something, Stephen. Mm-hmm. We did Mike MacArthur's birthday party at All Access, and Dave was the drummer, and he's just an amazing drummer and person. So we're thinking about you guys, and I know, Rick, you're close to the family too, so just thinking about you guys. It's been a rough couple of years, man. It really has.
Yep. That definitely is true. Yeah, Rick says definitely a lot of great hangs. So
yeah, Ron Sr. had a place called Norm's Place. It was a bar, and Ron Jr. and Dave played there a whole bunch with the band was called the Cave Dwellers.
Okay.
And man, it was such a great. I mean, they play everything from Jaco Pastorius, funk, to Miles Davis, to Zeppelin. Just everything was great. Mm-hmm. We'd go and hang and play, and yeah. He was a great proponent of music.
That's awesome. Let's see.
Hassan Chop.
Exactly. James says didn't Maine use the Ferguson Bell mouthpieces with the con trumpets, the ones that had the steps on the outer blank?
James, that's interesting. I thought that was a London mouthpiece with the steps. And originally, I think Giardinelli made that steps. But I don't know if Liberator... Here's the question I have, James. He was in London, England, prior to Giardinelli mouthpiece, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And I'm not clear on this right now, or in general. But yes, it had a step up... Yeah, Roger had that mouthpiece for a minute. He had the step up fins almost. I don't know if that was started in London with the Liberator or if it was a Giardinelli's thing. Mm-hmm. But I know the Constellation was before that. And if you look at, actually, I should dig out right now. I have it behind me. If you look at, I think it was Maynard 61 or 62. It's either this trumpet, or there was another Constellation that another gentleman got. I can't remember his name, but he Also, Maynard got a lot of cons at that time, and he was cycling them through. But they were all the same horns, 38B. And that horn, this horn was on the cover, or the other guy's horn. I'm not really sure who's, but I got to find the mouthpiece. I don't think it was that step mouthpiece. So talk. I'm gonna look for. I got it over here. I got to look.
All right. While he's doing that, guys, make sure to get your stuff in the chat if you guys have any other questions, comments. Doesn't have to be about anything. Be about food, apparently. You can tell us about restaurants in Cincinnati, or whatever you guys feel like talking about. I know we're coming on a little over an hour and a half now for this time, so probably say or wrap things up pretty soon, but want to make sure if you guys have anything you want to touch on in the chat, we'll definitely get to it. And Sean, I do see your question, so we'll get to that here in just a second. Also, I see a couple things from Jim Meck. It's good to see you in the chat, Jim. Thanks for being here as always. Let's see. Let me go through the chat here and make sure I didn't miss anybody. Stan, I see you. You're there. You're not going to make it to Cincinnati. You're going to be in Colombia. So I'm sure that sounds like an adventure. Let's see what else we got. Hang Monster, Frank Benici, making chili with Carolina Reaper peppers. Man, my neighbor has been growing those. We actually my girlfriend started propagating the seeds for him, and he's growing these Reaper peppers now. So we got all these peppers all over the yard. So it's kind of nice to have. Let's see what else you guys got.
I'm coming, I swear.
Nah, you're good, man. Suzanne says it feels good being here with the fish heads. Thank you for being here, Suzanne. I always appreciate you supporting everything on social media. We do see that, so definitely appreciate all of you guys following along. If you're new here, we do have the YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/fishmusic. It's FISCH music. And you can always subscribe there and get notified every time we do one of these shows, or when we do one of the a new video upload or anything like that. Also, we have Carl's accounts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, even LinkedIn. So anywhere you guys want to anywhere you guys want to follow along, it's definitely appreciated. So what'd you find, buddy? You found it all.
I did.
Uh-oh.
So this is James, right? James had the question.
Yeah, about the step mouthpieces. Yeah.
Sometimes a squirrel can get a nut, and then I like that sound. A squirrel can get a nut, and then sometimes the mind can be a tricky thing. So I always said this is a 61 Constellation, which from the serial numbers, and like I said, it was beat up in his closet. It was nickel plated, it had it silver plated. So it's a 61, and I don't know why I got it caught in my head. My dad passed away 4 years. It's coming on 5 years now, and I just went through I kept my dad's record collection, and my dad had a wonderful alphabetical Maynard Ferguson. When he died, everything was in alphabetical order, and time-wise from 58 all the way through. Well, I haven't been through it in a while. It blew my mind. So anyway, long story short, I said, it was on I just said earlier, this horn was on a Maynard Ferguson 61 cover. Here is as real as it can get. Here's the Maynard Ferguson 61 cover. There's no freaking trumpet.
There's nothing there.
It's Maynard looking really swell.
Yeah.
And the band on this, it says, I love the back. Mm-hmm. The trumpet section was Chet Ferreri, Bill Berry, Rolf Erickson, Rolf. Mm-hmm. Chet Ferretti was a guy in 61 that my dad was scared the hell out of. Chet was amazing. Lanny Morgan was on alto sax. Wow. Willie Maiden. So anyway, so it wasn't 61. So then I start going through. That's why it was so long. I start going through the timeline. The first one I found was, late 50s. Dimensions.
Oh, wow.
This is from 19. This is my dad's record from 58. This is 58. So this is. I'm just going to give you a little history if you're a trumpet. This 61 Maynard's Con. So this is. Make sure I'm right. I'm looking at the back. It's all yellow. By the way, if you're young, this is a record or an LP, a long play. I have my glasses, but this is around 58, 59. This record, maybe I'm wrong. I remember prompted my father into buying a trumpet that Maynard played. And this trumpet that's on that cover is my dad's trumpet. 1958 Constellation was my dad's horn. So I'm going through my dad's record collection with his horn that was on the record cover. How cool is that?
That's great.
Nickel plate.
And Dimensions was recorded in early 54 and mid 55 in 2 sessions.
2 sessions. Yeah. So that was the 55 Constellation. Came out in 55 or 56. Wait, it was recorded in 54?
Recorded in early 1954 and mid 55.
All right, so dig that. So maybe Roger Ingram, great trumpet, great. They can talk about the horn didn't come out, the Constellation didn't come out to 54, 55. So this might be a press cover around 55 or 56 when the record came out.
Yeah, 56.
Right?
Yep.
So my dad in 59 at Sam Ash Music, I have the original bill of sale for this trumpet. We're going to geek out now. I might as well get it. Can I get it?
Yeah, go for it, man.
So, how like history kind of, oh my God, all this stuff. Jesus.
See, I told you it was a good idea that you put pants on for the show.
Oh my God. Well, here's the original bill of sale. My dad used to fold stuff in Utica, New York, and Brooklyn. Sam Ash, which is a big store. But this is the copy of it. It's December 16th, 1958.
58.
For this Constellation, which is off this record cover that everybody was trying to copy. Oh, that's the wrong record cover. That's the next record cover I'm going to show you. It's Dimensions. 54, but it's still the same. He was playing a Constellation, which is probably a press photo now when you're really thinking about it. But at that time, this horn was $299.
Oh man, I wish.
With the original con tag.
Oh wow, got the care tag and everything.
And I wish you guys could smell it. It smells like my dad. It's crazy. Crazy. So getting to James thing. So I'm going through the records. So we went through Dimensions. You have a timeline? Because I can't see so well right now.
Yeah.
Or in general. All right. So was Maynard Ferguson... Danny Boy's on this record. Was this record before... I'm just trying to get the timeline right. Before Boys with Lots of Brass. I think Boys with Lots of Brass was in the late 50s.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Boys with Lots of Brass, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, go for it.
But correct. So this record, and again, the reason I bring this up, there's your Constellation. I want to say this is 57, 58.
57,
Boys,
yeah.
All right, so there it is. So 57 goes along with 19. My dad buying 58 Con. Boy with Lots of Brass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he gets that horn. So then we go to, I showed you 61 already, which I have the horn. James, here's the mouthpiece. We're talking about mouthpieces. And Stephen researched this. Another Maynard Ferguson. T.Ë.T.I records. This was, I want to say, around 59, 60. Bossa Nova, Defunct, Danny Boy, New Hope, The Sound of the Trumpet, Country Boy, Main Bone. This trumpet, that's the mouthpiece that we're looking for, and it was not the step trumpet mouth. That was, you know what? Now it hit me. That's the Coligio mouthpiece. Dominic Coligio probably made that mouthpiece.
Is that what it is?
I think so. That's not the step one that was in London, which was way later, late 60s, early 70s. So James, we just figured it out between my dad's records and 54, 56, 57, 59. What record can you pull up? I wish I could pull up.
That one was 60. That one was 64.
That was 64. So
yeah,
it's a pretty safe bet.
That's the horn.
Yeah, that or the other 61 that a friend of ours has, who lives in California, has that horn. So, and he had a couple of these horns in his closet that were beat to shit. And he used to tell me Con used to send him horns. He used to change them like his underwear. So anyway,
wow.
Hopefully that answered the question. Anyway, it was kind of cool. It felt good going through my dad's records and horns.
Do you have the new sounds there? Did you pull that one?
New Dimensions, you mean?
No, new sounds from 64.
I don't know new sounds. I didn't.
It
pull
looks
that.
like another con in his hand on that one.
New sounds? Let me go look.
Yeah, it's a blue cover. He's wearing a suit. He's got a coat over his left shoulder.
Oh yeah. I know that record.
Yeah.
New sound. Oh, this is a message from Earth. Oh, this one's really good too. I forgot about that. I gotta show you that. That's a great record. Crazy.
We should mount another camera over by the record collection.
Well, it's too far away.
No, I'm just kidding. Not now. Yeah.
I was gonna bring the computer over there.
Oh.
This is not a lot of light.
Yeah.
Alright, so since these are alphabetical, well, here's another con. I'll hit you to these two. Which are kind of cool. Crazy. What's funny is when I was a kid, I trashed these records. I'd listen to them. I'd run a needle over the. This is a Coligio mouthpiece, no doubt in my mind. This is probably 57. This is the horn, man. And this is definitely a Coligio.
All the jazz for dancing. Yeah.
Look at the mouthpiece on that. Look at the horn.
Yeah.
What year was this? Is the question. Here's the horn. That's a Coligio mouthpiece. That's the horn. I want to say that's late 50s, 58, 59, maybe 60. And the back cover, there's his horn again. Freaking crazy. I'm sitting on this horn.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Jazz for Dancing was 59.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did a lot in 59. And then this one wasn't one of my favorite records. Probably because I was stuck up. Bittersweet, though. I still play Bittersweet to this day. And Tenderly was on. This was swinging my way through college. I will go for my goddaughter Emma and Claudia, my niece, and he's holding the constellation there too.
Yep. Yeah, that was actually 58.
58. Wow.
Yeah.
So between 54 and 64, I know there was a decade that he was playing these horns.
Yeah.
It was way before he was playing those step mouthpieces, James, that were the the Giardinelli or the Liberator step mouthpieces. So I want to say it was the Dominic Colicchio mouthpiece he was playing, which Roger had, which Dan McMillian had made after a Roger Ingram copy. Roger supposedly got the Colicchio. I don't know if he still has it, but Gary Racky, who makes my mouthpieces, and we should probably follow up. Gary supposedly copied that mouthpiece from Roger and called it. It was a Dan McMillian grooving high mouthpiece, which copied the Colicchio. But what do I know?
Yeah,
I play saxophone.
very melody trombone.
I know nothing. But I do know this was my dad's horn, and that was Maynard's horn, and I have a lot of Maynard stuff here. And
Yeah.
God rest his soul, bro. Think about the discography and the vibe he played with.
Yep.
If I could play with half of his vibe, I'd be a happy dude.
Yep.
The joy he brought to people, man. God.
Yeah.
Amazing. The joy he brought to people.
Hey, while you're on the subject of horns, I'm actually going to go to the other side of the desk and look for that particular album I was talking about from '64.
Yeah, I want to see it, please.
Yeah. But while I'm doing that, Lori actually asked the question, and I completely forgot that you hadn't actually played a gig with the new configuration of the CF horn.
No.
So Lori's actually asking how the new bent bell worked out for you.
Hey, thanks, Lori. Lori, you're on top of it. God bless you. I think it worked out well. I mean, again, I came off post surgery, so I don't know. I'm not a good judge, but listening back to some of the cell phone video I heard, I like the sound of the horn, and the feedback I got at rehearsals from Mark Rivera, Crystal, and BR, and Mike Del Judas in front of me. They're like, that is the one. So that goes a long way. I think it rang pretty well. It was a lot easier for me to play with that bent bell to project over Michael Del Judas's head, his big shiny head that I love. I like playing over it instead of through it. And same thing when Billy, if I looked at Billy, I didn't feel like I was pegging him in the ears as far as having a sonic wave shooting at him. I felt like I was over his head. And what's amazing for me is I hear everything clearer because it's closer to my face and it's closer to my ears instead of being buried underneath me, hitting my neck. So, yeah, I really liked the feel of it. Felt great at rehearsal. Everybody said that I probably sat on a horn and bent it. It wasn't a full dizzy horn. Even Billy said, hey, you're playing a dizzy horn. I'm like, kind of, yeah, kind of. But it's not all the way. So that was kind of cool. So I kind of dig where it's going. It's a work in progress, and so far it's been the best configuration I've had. I played a standard bell now, and it doesn't have the response that I'm looking for. So response-wise and sonically, getting it the feedback back to my face, being technical, it definitely seems like it helps out. And I think out front, it has a lot more overtones that the AMT microphone's been picking up. So I'm pretty happy with it, man. I'm never going to be 100%. Just because that's who I am, but I it's a big improvement. And now I go back to the standard bell and I'm like, how did I play this? And the standard bell was an amazing trumpet. So that being said, I'm going to ask you, Lori, and whoever was at Buffalo or Boston, what do you guys think? Because I'm as good as my last gig. How did it sound out front? I'm behind a trumpet, so. Please chime in if you were there and tell me how much I sucked. What do you got, Steve-O?
Well, I didn't find the one that I was looking for, but it's interesting you were talking about dimensions.
Yeah.
There was actually 2 printings of that one.
Yeah. Oh, wow, it's a newer cover.
Yeah, where it just has the smaller, you know. It's a,
So why is your record so nice and have plastic over them, and mine are like taped with Scotch tape? The record's hanging out of the bottom of it.
yeah,
I mean, I beat the shit out of these records when I was a kid. I mean, you could see the scratches on it.
yeah,
It's bad.
yeah. I kept them all in the plastics. This is another one of my favorites.
Oh, it's a BSA, right? The motorcycle's a BSA.
Yeah.
Billy would love that cover.
Yeah,
I forgot all about Riding High. I forgot about that
yeah.
record.
Riding High.
Yeah. What year was that? That was in the mid '60s. That was in London, right?
Yeah, this one was let's see, 68 Atlanta.
Yeah, late. Yeah, it was London. I think it was over in the UK.
It
Right.
says distributed through New York, but
Really?
yeah,
I think he wasn't he living over there though at that
it
point.
might have been, yeah, at that point.
Look at the motorcycle. It was a BSA, right? Does it say anything on the front cover on a fuel tank?
I can't tell. I mean, there's a little logo, but I don't know any of them. You know, I'm doing everything backwards. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks like an English bike to me.
Yeah.
Billy would be really. I think that was the English time, and it got distributed.
Oh,
'Cause
actually, I do know. The cover photo is compliments of Bentley's Cycle and Sports from Montreal.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I got to show that to Billy because he'd freak out.
Yeah.
I don't know that company. I thought it was a BSA. I always thought it was an English bike. Bentley Cycle and Sports.
Yep.
What? That might have been a dealer. Say that again. Bentley Cycle and Sports compliments of.
Yeah, it says the cover photo.
Wow.
Compliments of Bentley's Cycle and Sports in Montreal.
Yeah, it wasn't the brand.
This one was recorded.
Who's the bike guy? Phil Plumby, who's our bass player. Really?
Yeah.
Phil, if you're on here, who's our bass player with Maynard. He's a big bike guy too.
Yeah.
He's a cafe racer Harley guy, but he might know. I got to figure this out.
And then I grabbed one last one, just because it cracks me up, and this is one that I kind of keep carefully.
CC.
But,
CC. I have the same one.
Yeah.
He signed it. Yeah.
Yeah, he signed it for me.
Oh my God. The trombone, the two trombones, French horn, baritone horn.
Yep.
CC.
Yeah, that's a great one. But anyway, I wish I could have found that one that I was talking about, but I didn't.
We'll figure it out.
So, yeah.
Did James chime in? Did he say anything about the mouthpieces?
It just says, "Oh man, thanks, Carl. Maynard did play Colicchio trumpet briefly too. Thanks for the info and the research, live research."
He was playing the Colicchio mouthpiece, not the trumpet. Well, he played the trumpet for a second, but he played the Colicchio mouthpiece for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I really think a lot of those covers had that Colicchio mouthpiece. And now it's going to prompt me to call Gary Radke. And we did have a call about a year ago regarding that Colicchio mouthpiece. Remember that?
I know we've had so many mouthpiece conversations with Gary.
No, I wasn't with Gary. It was a customer that called and asked me about the Colicchio mouthpieces.
Oh wow!
And,
yeah, I don't remember that one.
I got involved with Brian and Gary, and we got to talking because Dan McMillian was selling them. They were called Grooving High.
Yeah.
Which was confusing because the Grooving High mouthpieces you equate to Dizzy Gillespie because that was Dizzy Gillespie's song, Grooving High. Mm-hmm. So it's very confusing as far as like demographic of, is it Dizzy's mouthpiece? Is it Maynard's mouthpiece? Oh, it's a Colicchio? Well, Dizzy didn't play Colicchio. He played Outcast. Mm-hmm. My Dizzy horn's in the shop right now. I'm getting my Dizzy horn fixed with the Outcast original mouthpiece.
Oh, really?
Like I said, I'm going very specific of mouthpieces and horns that these guys played. But I will show you. I showed you this the other day. Can I show one more show and tell about the mute? I showed you this the other day. Let me get it. This is cool.
Uh-oh. I looked down for 1 second and you're gone again.
Coming.
I got you. While you're walking, Lori did come back to the chat and say everything sounded great to her on the new horn.
Oh, cool.
Marianne Stone's joining us in the chat. Hey, Marianne.
By
the way,
I love your pictures. I miss you.
I was gonna say Marianne had some great shots that she took from the shows. She says great piece of history with your dad's horn. So what'd you go get? Oh, I know what you got. Here,
I was saying
blow
this
it up
earlier.
here.
So Marianne, I don't have to tell you, you're good, Marianne. Very talented. We love and miss you. You're a South Shore girl. I love it. And thanks. I'm so sad that I didn't get to see you and everybody in Buffalo. There'll be other times, but thank you for the pictures. You're an artist, and we love you. So this is kind of cool. I got this from Sweden. I ordered it 5 months ago. This was Dizzy Gillespie's bop mute. If you're a trumpet player, you'll not understand. Maynard loved these mutes. Whenever I was for 12 years with Maynard, he coveted this mute. Made in Sweden, packaged by the original manufacturer was, I can't even pronounce the name. I moved it. Ulven. And this mute, if you stick it in your horn, you sound like Dizzy Gillespie. And it's copper. It's chrome over copper. And it's not cheap. But it's really put together nicely. And actually, I'd venture to say this played better than Maynard's mute. Dizzy Gillespie gave him this mute. Dizzy pioneered these mutes in the late 60s, I want to say, going to Sweden. And, well, I don't have chops. However, I'm going to give you a little taste of this mute. So you put this mute in, you can't help but to sound or play like Dizzy. I'll never be able to play like Dizzy, but Maynard loved Dizzy so much. There was so much of a kinship there. Dizzy gave Maynard this mute back in the day. This is a copy of that mute. And I haven't played since Buffalo, but I'll play. So. It's kind of just got a vibe to it. Mm-hmm. I can't play, but it's a tune that Dizzy used to play, and then she walked. I'm screwing it up. It's kind of got a great vibe to it.
Yeah, it's got a good sound.
You know, and for somebody who doesn't know the sound of this harmony mute, I will show you the difference. Sorry, I'm losing my mind.
It's no longer the ketchup hang, it's the geek out hang.
So this was the standard from, I would say, late 80s to probably 2010. It's a little different. This was a Joe Rao copper bubble. They called this the bubble mute. Like I played aluminum. This one's a copper. But listen, this is the same style of mute. But listen to the difference of the sound. It's buzzy. You put Dizzy's mute in. Just brings you back. It's not as buzzy, but brings you back to that Dizzy sound. So it's kind of cool. I'm a mute collector. I collect a lot of things. I'm sorry, I'm geeking out, but
It's all right. Noah says we are catching up on geeking out.
yeah. So that's my Dizzy mute.
They are significantly different. I mean, it's night and day.
Yeah. And then I have you have it too, Stephen. It's a wonderful mute. It's a it's over there. Not the solo mute.
Oh, the solo, yeah.
Solo. Mike Jarose in Philly, wonderful trumpet player. I got on Maynard's band, great trumpet player. Started the solo mute company, and that's a great mute too. And Bobby Shue started the solo wisp mute. That's why I was stuck for a second. And he distributed them to Yamaha. So there's a whole bunch of mutes, but this is kind of cool. This took me like 4 months to get, and this was direct from Sweden that Maynard played, that Dizzy gave him. That's just kind of a cool thing. So it's kind of I'm geeking. Sorry. All right, I'm done.
That's all right. Todd is asking if you have a favorite that you like to play.
Buzz wise, the Joe Rao copper is a buzzy mute. The solo mute, SOULO, from Mike Jarose is probably the best harmony mute and best mutes I ever played because they're in tune, they're even. Every one of them plays great. For the dollar, they're not cheap, but they're not expensive. They're the most consistent, in tune, sounding, great sounding mutes. I think they blend the old and the new together. The soloist of Bobby Shue is good. The Joe Rao's great, but it's very buzzy. Actually, this came from Bobby Shue. Had a thing back in the day. You see all these divots in this mute? He used to tell everybody to take a hammer or mallet and dent these mutes to get more reflection points off, and it made it really bright. But it's just not as even as playing as the solo mute. So I think if I had a desert island, it would be the solo mute from Mike Jarose in Philly, and the second would be the Dizzy Gillespie sound, even though it doesn't play as well, but it's got that sound. You just play it and you're reminded of Dizzy. That's what Maynard loved, this mute. And it's heavy. It's a heavy and unconventional, and it's expensive, but it's history.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome. And nice little jaunt that we didn't expect to take, but that was good. Yeah. I dig it.
I haven't played in years, man. I'm sorry, and this is always on my desk too. I'm in a month. I haven't played in a month. Since the last game, as Maynard and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last Blue Note gig I did. My dad with the Constellation. It's on my desk. It's kind of cool. Anyway, enough. I went on a Maynard tangent and Dizzy tangent, but if you can't do it on after his birthday, when can you do it?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Actually, speaking of horns, I got a random text about 10 minutes ago. It says, "Hey Steven, great to see both of you guys. Still blowing my CF horn. Please say hi to Carl from Neil Rosen."
Oh, great, man.
He's got his CF horn still kicking. So
Neil's he's like how can I describe Neil? I will say Neil is a bull in a china shop that can move air and plays with energy demand. The guy plays like a freaking bull in the china shop. He's a great player from Long Island, friend of ours. Playing the CF horn, him and Gus, not Gus, Kevin Cordone Sr., not Junior. Junior's a great player, and Senior's even a better. Well, they're both great players. Kevin Sr. has his son Mike Cordone, who's in L.A. doing really well. But yeah, Kevin and Neil play. We all used to play in big bands together in the late. Well, I guess it was early 2000s. But Neil's a powerhouse. Puts a lot of air through the horn. Great lead trumpet player.
actually,
And
Neil relocated to Florida.
What?
Yeah,
Where the hell? Neil, where are you at?
in Orlando area.
You're only 2 hours from me, buddy. I didn't know you were down here. He was funny was he lived in Merrick and I lived in Freeport at the time. So we were about 3 miles away. Not 2 miles away, if that. But we only seen each other maybe once a month. But he's a monster. Good player. Well, I'm glad it's working out for you, Neil. Keep in touch, man. Let me know how you're making out.
Yeah.
Awesome to hear from you.
Let's see. I think you were away looking through the record collection at the time, but Jim Meck is hanging out with us again.
What's up, Jim? Thanks for the nice comments about Maynard and Reggie Watkins yesterday. Thank you, bro. Hope all's well.
Yep. Bobby Kellum joined us, is hanging out with us.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we're. I think the chat is just kind of hanging at this point, and if you guys have any last minute stuff, I know we're about 2 hours and 20 minutes in, and both of us turned into a pumpkin about 20 minutes ago. So
yeah, I have no more records. Well, I have more records to go through, but I don't think I can see them anymore. I need my glasses. But I appreciate everybody hanging out. If you have any last minute things, like Steven said, what do you got there? What's that?
The dynamic. Wait, I got to do everything backwards. The dynamic big band sound from the world of Maynard Ferguson.
I don't have that record, man.
Yeah.
What's on that? What are the tunes on that, Steve?
This is Maria, Ultimate Rejection. Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child. Early Hours.
That was that record was a there was a lot of those records that were
the compilations.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the Roulette Birdland series.
Yeah. And that's, I have to say too, I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm gonna say it. There's a lot of people right now putting out records. Some's great, some is not so great, of bootleg recordings of Maynard, and I think it's a positive thing in general. At the same token, Maynard would be like, that's not a good representation of my playing as an artist. This is, you want to sound as good as you can, and someone taking something that's a fan and just putting something out like a compilation is cool, but unless you're really hooked into the organization like an Ed Sargent or somebody that's been around the guy, you get a pulse of what he would want. Some of the stuff I'm hearing and seeing, I don't want to hear and see. Yeah. So the reason I say this is, if you're a young whippersnapper And there's a few of them that are out there that are playing really great trumpet right now. But just keep in mind, if you listen to an original Maynard recording, that is half the sound that you're hearing live. Just like Louis Armstrong, when you heard Louis Armstrong, which I never got to hear, John Fidus would tell me this, you're hearing half of a sound on a recording. So now you go into a compilation that might be a live recording, or the mic might not be hot, or there might be multiple mics and some things are down, and it's not a good representation of that artist. You want to think about, and as a player, you want to emulate the best sound of that musician, the best represented sound of that musician. So a lot has been dialed down, so to speak. I hear students playing double C's and double D's and E's, and they are as small as a freaking a B. But then you hear Maynard play it, or a guy, Eric Mercier, or a trumpet player that has girth, and it's like a freight train. And so guys are squeaking out. I had a very long conversation yesterday on Maynard's birthday about guys who are famous and guys who are not famous right now, who are internet sensations that can play high notes, but they sound like fleas on a tick. It's very small sounding. And Maynard's thing is, if you're going to play small, it's not a note. You have to own it. And a lot of these recordings I'm hearing that are bootlegs and stuff like that are not good representations. The mics might not be in a good place. There's a multitude of sonic technical issues. So really, what I'm saying for the younger players, really dissect the original recordings of Louis Armstrong, Dizzy Gillespie, Clifford Brown, Lee Morgan, Maynard Ferguson. Listen to Clark Terry, listen to Nat Adderley, listen to his recordings, and listen to their sound on the studio recordings. That was the best representation of their sound. And emulate for that. Not the bootleg or the 1970s version of him playing a double D, or a guy playing jive samba, or work song and having a bad night at Sweet Basil's or Village Vanguard. Don't listen to those things. Everybody's human. Listen to the real recordings of these guys. Louis Armstrong would slay a band, a 6-piece band with one microphone when he was on. That's what you want to emulate. There's a 5-minute hero of everybody now that are playing double D's and E's, and they're paper thin, and it makes my skin crawl. If I'm going to play a note, it's going to be a note. Stan Mark, if he was going to play a note, it was going to be a note. Frank Green is going to play a note, it's going to be a note. It's going to be fat. It's going to be in your face. You know, so those are very important things to listen to as far as the trumpet player's sound goes. If you're going to play in that register, make it big and fat. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, and it's a good point too, because some of that stuff, like, there's a reason some of that stuff wasn't released.
Correct. Correct.
You know,
and people, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. People who are making money off of it, fuck you. And some of them are my friends. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That's all I got to say. And I'm pissed off because that pisses me off. Mm-hmm. You're making money off of a fucking canary sound that wasn't meant to be. And even if it's $5, oh, I'm doing it for the better of Maynard. No, you're not. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it for the benefit of Dizzy Gillespie. No, you're not. Who's going to represent Dizzy Gillespie and Louis Armstrong the best? Themselves. They're the best advocates of what they want to sound like. They are going to be the best advocates of how they want to sound, when they want to sound. How many times did Dizzy Gillespie, Maynard Ferguson, Chuck Mangione, Lee Morgan, Clifford Brown get in fights with guys in front of the house, whether it be one microphone or 20 microphones? Oh, man, or Arturo Sandoval coming out right now. The guy's got a big sound. He comes out, and his sound sounds squashed. How many times he get in a fight with somebody because the sound wasn't represented the way it is? So the artist has the last say. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. So you guys who are fans, that's great. Same thing with Billy Joel. Same thing with Charlie Watts. Same thing with any artist that is around. You might be fans, but you're not the artist. The artist has the last say in the way they want to be duplicated and replicated in their sound. And if you're trying to, you think you're moving the pendulum forward, you're not. What you're doing is you're making it cheaper because, I say this in clinics all the time. Duplication is the sincerest form of flattery. Well, if you're duplicating a sound that sounds like a flea, whether it be Frank Sinatra singing nasally like or Dizzy Gillespie playing in a mute and it sounds like shit, or Maynard playing a double C and it's half the sound of what he has, what justice are you doing to the younger people? You're not. That's just the way I feel about it.
Yep. A lot of good stuff there. Let's see here. I'm looking. I think we kind of hit everything in the chat.
And then some.
Yeah, a couple things. Actually, Bobby is asking which Maynard albums you recorded on.
Hey. These Cats in the Swing. Brass Attitude. There was one in the middle of there. One More Trip to Birdland. Mm-hmm. These Cats in the Swing. One More Trip to Birdland. Brass Attitude. And the Christmas for Moderns on Concord Records Volume 2. We did a medley, and then there's a whole bunch of bootlegs that I'm not very happy about. That Maynard's not very happy about, but they're out.
Yeah.
Those 3 records, I could say, from Chip McNeil to Tom Garling, they cared about, and Ed Sargent, they cared about Maynard's sound. And Dominic, what was his last name? He was at that studio, sound design studio in Santa Barbara. And he cared about Maynard and everybody in the band's sound, which is it's an art form that's not there anymore. Very important. Doug Johnson understands it. He's an engineer right now that I'm dealing with T.Ë.T.I. He understands it now. He understands it. It's very important to get the sound. You have cheap copies. It's like a Casio watch or a Rolex. Here's a Rolex watch right here. Here's a Yacht Master. Case in point. This is a Yacht Master watch. Anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000. It's the biggest piece of shit I ever owned. It's Chinese. It's a copy. I would never spend $15,000 on a watch. This watch tells no time. It looks good for a minute. It's 2 days old. The band broke 3 times, and it barely keeps time. It looks damn good. It's heavy. It's a Brolex. I call it a Brolex. Instead of Rolex, a Brolex.
It's a Yuck Master.
I got it off the internet for $80. No, this one's expensive. It was $120. It's the biggest piece of shit I ever owned. You're going to do the same thing with a recording of a bootleg, and you're going to copy it and think, if you never heard Dizzy Gillespie, Maynard Ferguson, Louis Armstrong, Clifford Brown, Lee Morgan, Roy Hargrove, you name it. You didn't hear these guys live, or you didn't know what the sound was on a recording. What's your reference? Oh, this is a great watch. It looks great. It's the biggest piece of shit I ever owned. It doesn't even match my shirt. This will be gone. This watch will be gone probably in a week.
Yeah.
It's the sign of the times.
Mm-hmm. I think we hit everything in the chat. You know what? I'm gonna close everything up here on the chat side of things. I'm gonna thank everybody for hanging out in the chat, submitting your comments and questions. For those that just hung in the chat to hang, thank you for being here as well.
Yes, thank you.
There were a couple of donations. I'll say thank you to those people.
Thank you.
Noah says, great catch-up hang. Really glad gigs are coming back slowly. See you guys next time. Cool. Suzanne, thanks much. Wonderful time. And, I'll thank you guys for being here. And, we'll let you guys know, kind of what things are looking like as far as the schedule in the future. And we'll go from there. If you do follow along on Facebook, typically Facebook, Instagram, Twitter are the ones that get notified first that there's going to be an upcoming episode. And then you can always do a subscription to the YouTube channel. It's free. So head on over to the YouTube channel and subscribe there. And with that being said, I'm going to close things up from my end, Carl, and let you have the last word.
Oh, that's scary.
Yep. And my finger on the button.
Oh yeah, I mean, I already dropped the F-bomb 5 times, so.
Well, it was all in 3 sentences, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, well, at least I'm honest.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So, Steven, I got to say, thanks for bringing us all together again. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be together. So, thank you for being the impetus to everybody hanging out. That's very important. I think to you and to me.
Yep.
I hope, anyway. But
definitely.
It means a lot. It means a lot also that you're healthy and making pasta again and holding pasta down, which is very important.
I need to stop holding it down at this point.
No, you need to hold it. Dude, you need to hold it down because honestly, you had me scared shitless. And I don't get scared much, but I was scared like a little schoolgirl. And there's nothing wrong with schoolgirls, but I was a schoolgirl. I was worried about your ass.
Yeah. Now the only thing I need help with is my temper when I'm making pasta.
Yeah, well,
I spent 3 hours making raviolis the first time, and I just ripped them in half because I got mad they didn't look right. Started over.
What happened?
Anyway, man, last words all yours. I'll see you guys next time.
Well, hopefully next time will be soon. We're trying to get some sort of consistency again. Please, in the chat, whether it be now or on YouTube or Facebook in comments, let us know if you want us back. One of the things I think Steven and I were wondering and wishy-washy about is there a need and reason for us to be here? I mean, I am being very selfish, and this is a great outlet for me. I think it's a great outlet for Steven. We have a great time. If you guys still enjoy this, let us know. We really missed you guys and are happy to be back in somewhat of a normalcy thing like we started this whole chat tonight. Hopefully we catch you up. It's been a great moving time for moving forward. Moving forward is a positive thing. We want to keep 2 steps ahead, but not have any steps back, which is very important in general and in life. So please be conscious of everybody else around you and be kind, like I always say, and don't take no shit from nobody. God bless Maynard Ferguson, Charlie Watts, and all our friends and family who are moving forward, whether it be in after or living life right now. It's very important. And I can't thank you guys enough for having us into your computer screen. So we hope to see you soon. Sorry for my curse words tonight. I get very passionate. And I appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out. And hopefully we'll do it again soon. So till next time, sayonara. Hassan Chop.
Mr. Carl Fischer.